Look, I may not be playing SSO anymore, but I gotta admit, there's one mystery I really cannot get off my mind. Yeah, the fridge door mystery. I've already made a couple of videos covering this mystery and I've heard countless of different theories about what the doors are for example, underground train stations, or maybe it's GED, it's North Link, it's Dark Core, maybe they're bunkers. And while some of these assumptions are definitely plausible, what I've always been missing is some actual constructive evidence about the purpose of these doors. You know, something that connects them to the lore and helps us see the bigger picture and actually justifies their strangeness. Well, someone's done it. Someone's found actual in-game evidence and made a complete fridge door theory. And it's pretty darn good. So, if you by any chance are new here and have never heard about this mystery before, here's a little recap. There are 4 mysteriously placed hatch doors placed around Jorvik, which light up at night and make creepy noises. In the community, the doors are more commonly known as fridge doors, because many believe they look like tiny fridges in the ground. When you approach said doors, the soundtrack called Strange will play, which is a soundtrack associated with the uncovering of dark secrets. Since the very beginning of the game, many players have been creeped up by the doors and wondered why they're there. But the only thing we know at this point in time is that they most likely make out a star formation on the map, meaning that one door is still missing. This is supported by evidence such as the star symbol on the doors, the oddly accurate locations on the map, and the reoccurring theme of stars in this franchise. So the star formation has been widely accepted as a fact at this point, but no further progress has been made to solve the mysteriousness of the doors. After all, we're still missing one door and it's assumed that this whole thing is on hold until we unlock it. That's what I thought too, until a couple of weeks back when I stumbled upon an old blog post from a blog called Star Stable Studies. The post is written by Anna Bravewood in 2017 and she's making one heck of a case about the doors. I'll be leaving a link to the original post in the description down below, so if you want to read this full theory in her own words, it's right there. Otherwise, I'll be covering the important parts. So Anna, the poster, made the same connection as many others, like Northina have done, with the doors making out a star formation on the map. The next question she then went on to ask is what is inside the star? Anna tried to figure out if there was anything special inside the star formation that may connect to the doors. And indeed, there was. She marked out the following locations as particularly interesting in this theory. The first interesting location is the GED oil drilling site. In this location, GED are digging for oil, but dumping it on the ground rather than containing it, meaning that the oil is not actually what they're after. They must have a different goal in mind for digging the ground. But what is it? Anna even makes a point that it almost looks like they're putting oil into the ground and not taking it out of the ground. Does that make any sense? No matter how you look at it, what they're doing here is very suspicious. The second interesting location is Silverglade Village. The reason why the village is interesting is because it was terrorized by Pandora Cracks and Shadowseeker at some point in the main story quest. And I know that a lot of the grind with the Pandora Cracks and such have been removed at later points, but as far as I know, we still do have the quest in Silverglade Village where they get terrorized by Pandora Cracks and Shadowseekers. Not only is this part of the main story, but the cracks appearing in the village also suggest that there is cavity underneath the village. And maybe even more important is Steve's farm. And the reason why this location is particularly interesting is because of one of Steve's quotes from a quest called The Cat Substitute, where we help him deal with rodents on his farm. Steve says, "I don't understand where the mice are coming from. On the nights, I can hear strange sounds coming from underground. I wonder if GED is drilling out the island of Jorvik from the inside." This is probably the most important quote in this whole theory, because what Steve says can be directly linked to the doors. Not only does he mention strange sounds coming from underground, but he also mentions GED drilling out the island from the inside. But we do have one more interesting quote that may connect us to another location. The quote is by Connie, the North Link trainee, and it's through the quest called This Isn't North Link, where he drills his way into the Baroness's wine cellar. Connie says, Today is my first day as a trainee at GED by Northlink, and the first thing they did was show me their new drilling machine. Here's your new job, they said. Just drive it straight. Then they say good luck and walked off to drink more coffee. So I figured I'd better do what they tell me to, but it seems like I drove the machine a little crooked. What's interesting about this quote is that Connie was told to drive the machine straight, and because he didn't, he ended up in the wine cellar. So whatever they're working on at the Northlink construction site includes drilling the machines straight ahead. So these locations, along with the accompanying pieces of information, lead to the hypothesis that there are tunnels underneath the ground, and the fridge doors are entrances to said tunnels. Based on these locations, Anna believed that the tunnels meet at the center of the star, like this. And this is the point where I want to add my own personal observations to this theory, because I believe there are more things that suggest that this can be true. I've previously noted that this inner corner of the star formation is the exact coordinates of the UFO crash site. But what I didn't realize at the time is that right behind the UFO crash site is the location where we first encounter Pandoric cracks, the place known as Shadowy Hills. This got me thinking, what if there's not just tunnels meeting between the doors, but an entire network of tunnels underneath the ground? If the cracks in Silvergate Village have anything to do with the fridge doors, then surely the same type of cracks that appear in Shadowy Hills should be equally important. If there is an entire network of underground tunnels, then the location of the UFO crash site and Shadowy Hills will also make sense in this theory. Right, so moving on with the theory, Anna then questions what the tunnels are for. This is the part where she starts making her own theories and speculations based on things she's found in-game. To support her theory, she brings up a quote by the Sleeping Widow that we had during the Saving Lisa questline. The widow says, "Lisa persuaded me. My roots reached her in her abominable prison. She needed help, and she promised to help me." So the interesting part here is how the Sleeping Widow can reach Pandoria with its roots. This, in combination with the Pandoric cracks that appear in the ground, makes it sound as though Pandoria is located right underneath our feet. And so, based on this, Anna makes the connection that the tunnels must be built to reach Pandoria, the same way that the Sleeping Widow can reach it with its roots. Now this makes perfect sense. Not only because of Anna's arguments with the Sleeping Widow's roots and the Pandoric cracks, but in case it wasn't already clear, I want to point out how there's literal Pandoric energy erupting from the ground through the cracks. The whole main story makes this big deal out of how the Pandoric energy levels are higher than usual and they have to contain it. This is why the cracks appear, and this is also why the runestones around the island are waking to life. If there are being tunnels built to reach Pandoria, that would explain why this Pandoric energy is suddenly just oozing into Jorvik. Just think about it, this energy can't just have appeared on its own, it has to be triggered by something, and I'm pretty sure the tunnels are it. Not only that, but we also have some quests as of recent years that show how GED and Darkcore are now working together, which further justifies the connection between GED's drilling and Pandoria in the main story. I also want to mention that clearly the Soul Riders have no idea that any of this is going on. They seem completely clueless as to why the Pandoric energy levels are so high, why the stones are waking to life, why the cracks are appearing. They just know they gotta contain it. And they never mention anything about the fridge doors or anything happening underground. They are clueless. This is why we, as the fifth Soul Rider and the main character, have not yet heard anything about these doors, because this is a secret enemy operation that is happening as we speak, and it hasn't been uncovered yet at this point in the story. So what exactly does this mean in the main story? What exactly are they planning to do with tunnels to Pandoria? Well, Anna points out how the star formation may be an indication for some sort of magic ritual, and so the light ceremony comes to mind. Although we don't know exactly how this works, we know that it includes the Soul Riders, and conveniently enough, we are 5 Soul Riders, just like how there are 5 doors. Well, word has it that the Dark Riders are planning to perform this ceremony in reverse in order to free Garnock. So it's possible that the star formation is a giant summoning circle for the Dark Riders to perform this ritual, and they are using Pandoric energy to make it happen. Now, at this point, Anna ends the theory on a very intriguing question. what exactly is at the center? But in a sense, I feel like she's already indirectly given us an answer to that question through her theory. In the center of the star formation lie the ever so quiet and peaceful Everwind Fields. But not for long, cause with time, this is where Garnock will rise to power. So, there you have it. I don't know about you, but I feel like we finally have an actual justifiable answer to the fridge door mystery. With in-game evidence. I haven't been able to think about anything else Jorvik related for these past few weeks, but finally, I can sleep peacefully knowing that, Garnock will terrorize Jorvik. Yeah. Once again, I'll leave a link to the original post in the description, so if you like this theory, make sure to give some love to the original creator. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, if you did, I'll see you around. Bye!